The Jezabels are an Australian indie rock band formed in Sydney in 2007. They consist of Nik Kaloper on drums, Samuel Lockwood on lead guitar, Hayley Mary on lead vocals, and Heather Shannon on piano and keyboard. They have described their genre as intense indie, but later said that this was just a joke that they put up on a social networking site, though people took them seriously. From 2009 to 2010 the group issued a trilogy of extended play recordings, The Man Is Dead, She's So Hard and Dark Storm, all produced and engineered by Lachlan Mitchell. Two of their releases have reached the ARIA Singles Chart Top 40, the Dark Storm EP and their single Endless Summer. They released their debut studio album, Prisoner, on September 16, 2011. It peaked at number 2 on the ARIA Albums Chart and won Best Independent Release at the ARIA Music Awards of 2012. They released their second album The Brink on January 31, 2014. History: The Jezabels formed in 2007 after the four members met as students at the University of Sydney. Their music was described by national youth radio station, Trilogy, as a blend of alternative rock, indie rock, and disco pop. The Jezabels' Facebook page describes their genre as intense indie. Hayley Mary and Heather Shannon has performed together in Byron Bay. Samuel Lockwood also grew up in Byron Bay. The band's name is based on the biblical character, Jezabel, who Mary perceived as being misunderstood or misrepresented, and described her as an example of how women are really wrongly presented. Lockwood recognized Mary and Shannon when he saw them at university and invited them to join a band for a competition. The group are Nik Kaloper on drums, Lockwood on lead guitar, Mary on lead vocals, and Shannon on piano and keyboard. Mary recalled it was a combination of four individual desires to play music and taking whatever opportunities we could find, which happened to be each other. From there the process has pretty much been one of reconciling musical differences. But we unregistered trademark Getting Closer. On February 3, 2009 the Jezabels' debut extended play, The Man Is Dead, was released independently via MGM Distribution. It was recorded at McGaffin and Production Avenue Studios and produced by the Jezabels and Lachlan Mitchell. The lead track, Disco Biscuit Love, is credited to Shannon, McGlone, Lockwood and Kaloper. On November 6 that year they followed with a second EP, She's So Hard, which included the tracks Easy to Love and Hurt Me. Both received significant radio airplay, including on Sydney's FBI radio and Trilogy. They also received airplay in the US, where in August, they debuted at number 114 on the CMJ Top 200 and reached number 96 for the track Disco Biscuit Love. On December 22, they were the Trilogy Unearthed featured artist and described them as dramatic, energetic, uplifting, indie rock with a commanding lead singer. We've picked them to play Field Day, a great way to start the new year. Their She's So Hard EP was the number 3 most added on US college radio for 2009. On October 1, 2010 the Jezabels released the third EP of their trilogy, Dark Storm, which peaked in the top 40 of the ARIA Singles Chart. The as Peter Vincent felt, T.S. is a timeless sound that is radio-friendly, moody female vocals soaring over strong percussion and slow-building guitar and piano/keyboard lines. One of the tracks, May Spray, has lyrics containing an element of satire. It's hilarious that someone would carry May Spray. But it's also very sad. In August 2011, their single Endless Summer peaked in the top 40 of the ARIA Singles Chart and was credited to Kaloper, Lockwood, McGlone, and Shannon. On September 16, 2011 they released their debut studio album Prisoner and it reached number 2 on the ARIA Album Chart. It was recorded at Sydney's Attic Studios with Mitchell producing and Peter Curtis mixing. Vulture magazine S Animal described the album in a review, a dramatic gothic epic, with a twist of 80 unregistered trademark powerhouse rock. Jezabels singer Hayley Mary sums up their sound perfectly as Bronte-esque gothic melodramatic. Channeling Kate Bush, Freddie Mercury and Cyndi Lauper, my unregistered trademark vocals are a force to be reckoned with. By December 31, 2011, The album was certified gold by ARIA for the shipment of 35,000 units. Endless Summer was performed by both Josh Pike and Jack Viggen. In late 2013, the Jezabels released a song titled The End as the first single release from their second album The Brink, which was released on January 31, 2014. Music videos. The Jezabels have released music videos for 7 tracks: Disco Biscuit Love, Hurt Me, Easy to Love, May Spray, Tricolor, Endless Summer, and Rosebud. 2 versions were made for Disco Biscuit Love. The Hurt Me clip was aired on Australian national television for a number of weeks in February 2010 by the Australian Broadcasting Corporation's music video program, Rage. It was also the Rage Indie Clip of the Week in March 2010. Easy to Love was aired on Rage in May 2010. While not an official music video, their song A Little Piece is featured in the Danny McCasker Bicycle Trials video, Way Back Home. It is also featured in a video by acclaimed Slovenian dog trainer, Silvia Trkman, whose Pyrenean Shepherd, La, featured in the video, has gone on to become an international dog agility star. In the opening video on YouTube for Ubisoft's Far Cry 3, the song Prisoner is featured in a very short-cut version. Live performances. The Jezabels state that they are predominantly a live act and played the indie circuit around Sydney since 2007. In 2009 they played at the Hopetown and Annandale hotels, to positive reviews. They toured nationally to promote the release of their EPs. In November 2009, they did an East Coast tour to launch She's So Hard. In November and December 2010, they undertook a national tour after launching Dark Storm. The Jezabels have played the Australian festivals Big Day Out, Falls Festival, Pyramid Rock, Festival of the Sun, Playground Weekender, Come Together, Pete's Ridge Festival, St. Jerome's Laneway Festival and Soundwave. In 2011 they played at Groove in the Moo and Splendour in the Grass. The Jezabels supported Carnada Euro unregistered trademark S. Hey Rosetta and Tegan and Sarah on their Australian tours. In June 2010, they toured with Katie Noonan and the Captains, and have also supported Regurgitator, Blurgeois, Dukes of Windsor, Banshee, Sparkadire, Josh Pike, Ostwood, Cassette Kids, and Damn Arms. In October 2010 they played a 13-day tour of North America and Canada as the supporting act for 2 Hours Traffic, and will be returning to America for more shows in February and March 2011. In March 2012, they toured the US with indie rock group Imagine Dragons. In July 2012, they joined Garbage on their UK tour for 4 nights, and played at Tea in the Park on the 6th of that month. In August 2012, he played Lollapalooza in Grant Park, Chicago, US and appeared at Osheaga Music and Arts Festival 2012 in Montreal, Canada. The band appeared as the special guests of Depeche Mode at the latter's performance as part of Depeche Mode's Delta Machine World Tour in the UK and Ireland in November 2013. It is interesting to note that in the TV soap Home and Away episodes shown in Sydney on 22nd and 23rd October 2014, Phoebe Nicholson has to make an agonising decision to leave her lover Kyle Braxton behind in Summer Bay so that she can return to Melbourne and begin an Australia-wide tour supporting the Jezabels. Achievements and awards. Disco Biscuit Love was featured as the iTunes Single of the Week in the first week of July 2009. The single Hurt Me was featured as the iTunes Single of the Week in the third week of February 2010, and was Talks Radio's #1 track of 2009. The Jezabels had 2 songs featured in the Triple J Hottest 100, 2010. Easy to Love came in at number 49, and May Spray at number 16. In December 2011, it was announced that their debut album was voted number 6 in the Triple J album poll for 2011. ARIA Awards Awards and nominations In 2010, the band's EP, Dark Storm, received the Australian Independent Record Award for Best Independent Single EP, with the Jezabels also taking away the Best Independent Artist AIR award. Furthermore, the band has won the Best Independent Artist award in both 2011 and 2012. They were nominated for Best Breakthrough Artist and Best Single/EP at the 2010 Independent Music Awards. Band members: Nik Kaloper Euro drums, percussion, Samuel Lockwood Euro guitars, Hayley Mary Euro lead vocals, Heather Shannon Euro keyboards. Popular culture: in November 2011, a little piece was used for the Under Armour "Are You From Here?" commercial that features basketball star Brandon Jennings. Australian pay TV provider Foxtel used Endless Summer as background music for their summer television content advertisement. Nobody Nowhere was used on the True Blood episode In the Beginning, while Easy to Love appeared on the Grey's Anatomy episode Hope for the Hopeless in January 2012. In a 2012 episode of the television show Neighbours, Paul Robinson learns that the grades of his niece Sophie Ramsey are slipping and eventually forbids her from seeing a Jezabels concert in the city. Easy to Love was used on Dance Academy as the music to a tribute dance to Sammy Laberman by his friends. The dance was originally performed by Sammy himself, but when he died it was Ben's idea to do a tribute dance. Mary revealed at a March 2012 show in Sheffield, UK Euro attended by approximately 130 Euro that the song Long Highway was proposed for one of the Twilight Saga films, but was deemed too mature. Mary later explained in a September 2012 interview, "Do you know how offhand that comment was and how many times Euro unregistered trademark they had to face it since? I did say that. It was kind of true, but it was also a bit tongue-in-cheek. We were kind of told that might be the reason. Euro unregistered trademark a 6-minute song, which requires maturity for listening." What they specifically said, apparently, was that the voice was too mature. "I don't Euro unregistered trademark to know if the means I sound old or I sound intelligent. Euro unregistered trademark I'm going to hope that Euro unregistered trademark S the latter." Long Highway was used however in the 2014 Red Bull film Epicua copyright N, set in the Argentinian village of Villa Epicua copyright N. The song Peace of Mind is used as the final song in the last episode of the Netflix series, The Killing. In the TV soap Home and Away episodes shown in Sydney on 22 and 23 October 2014, Phoebe Nicholson has to decide whether to leave her lover Kyle Braxton behind in Summer Bay so that she can return to Melbourne and begin an Australia-wide tour supporting the Jezabels. Discography Albums Prisoner No. 2 AUS, The Brink No. 2 AUS. EPs The Man Is Dead, She's So Hard, Dark Storm No. 40 AUS, No. 1 AUS iTunes Albums Chart, AUS, Gold. Singles. References. External links, official website, interview with Nik Kaloper from the Jezabels on SBS Radio.